First off, the advice offered in this video will differ slightly based on whether or not you're running solo or with groups. The main difference between the two, besides obviously the lack of people, is in the audio cues, since in solos you easily know that every noise not your own is an enemy's. I also want to state right now, here and outright, if you are playing solo, you wear a headset. There is such a huge advantage to using them, and sacrificing the pseudo radar it gives you for an Alt-10 Maska or Kiver is just straight up not worth it in my opinion. Helmets only stop bullets already flying their way, but headsets help you avoid those bullets from being fired in the first place. However, in group scenarios, it's entirely different. It's almost impossible to rely solely on audio cues for sniffing out enemies with a bunch of teammates running around you. Rather, the trade-off instead is that you obviously have more guns at the ready, thus more firepower, but also more importantly increases the amount of time each direction and angle is watched. With just 2 people, you can easily watch just about every angle at all times, even if you're caught wide open in the middle of the map. But ideally, you and your group would still play safe and against the outer walls in order to maintain as many guns one way as possible, without having to give up cover over other potential angles. But whether you're a lone wolf or a squad alpha, the first important thing after spawning into labs is of course your spot. Generally, the exact areas you're spawned in at are terrible places to continue standing, but they happen to be in very camp-friendly areas. And a little bit of semantics right quick. By camping, I don't mean camping. I mean holding down an area so that others cannot attack your position, but staying on the move slightly in order to always be in the best spot. The most popular spots to hold right now happen to be both the metal staircases near the medical tents connecting all 3 floors, the double door refrigerator opening into kitchen. Truth be told, don't camp here, I don't know why people do it. Also the sky bridge near arsenal door, the boiler room with 3 entrances, and of course both of the zigzag corridors near parking. Obviously, the locations with more corridors and openable doors would require more people to hold effectively, but easy to guard areas like metal staircase are super easy to hold alone. But regardless of the exact position you or your team decide to sit in, there are a few general principles that you should follow if you plan on using your keycard to loot up as much as possible and get out alive. First off, do take advantage of spawn points close to Ravager spawning buttons and hit them immediately for the sole purpose of limiting other PMCs to the outside walls of the map. Even just spawning in the Ravagers helps pinpoint exactly where other enemies are, and generally helps you clear up the map a bit. Now, don't run in this map. Certain floor types like wood and metal are alarm bells to any PMCs that know the map well, and it is almost never worth sacrificing the ability to bring up your gun at any moment just to move around at about 30% increased speed, but you also make 300% more noise. Instead, take your time and keep your composure. Surviving is for the patient. While remembering to move slowly, do always check potential extremely dangerous areas with grenades. For example, if you see a stack of 9 dead Ravagers outside of a closed bathroom door, in no universe should you ever face check or push through that door. If you do, you deserve to end up like those dead Ravagers. Instead, start by throwing in grenades, not even looking to kill, but looking for sounds of feet shuffling to indicate a player is indeed hiding somewhere. And look at the kill of grenades as a plus, but think of them more as a way to flush enemies out than anything else. Do not forego your carefully selected position just because you have Tarkov ADHD. If you're holding an angle and a player is simply just a few feet outside of where you can see, you do not push outside your position to try and get a better shot. Rather, you force the offensive team to push into you, and you always keep your gun at headshot level. Next off, do have teammates cycle in for you at your angle if you need to reload or med and you have to relocate. But make sure to communicate with your team first for someone else to hold the angle. Never simply hope the angle will be fine while you're off in La La Land playing with your gun. Many people will sound whore for medding and reload animation sounds, and will often use that exact time to push in. It's always best to have another gun staring at that angle if that ever happens. Don't let enemies push through doorways and into whatever room you may be holding. The best way to hold a position is to constantly keep your enemies outside of it and protect the hell out of your border. The moment an enemy gets in, it becomes very hard to quickly point out who's who in group situations and can lead to many a dead teammates. Do bring some sort of long distance optic like a PSO or a prism scope. These are very important for clearing out angles from a distance and landing your headshots without having to be close to the enemy. Also note here that you should generally work to be more comfortable with point firing anyways, and not have to heavily rely on close range optics like red dots or iron sights. Do not risk your life hoping to quickly kill a Ravager or PMC through any sort of tarp, metal gate, or railing, wood or otherwise. The hitboxes for these are not fully correct, and oftentimes you'll fire a full 60-round mag of M995 into a tarp and have nothing go through. Similarly, never attempt to hide behind these items either, because they most certainly will not save you. Only count on large metal items and main walls from corridors to withstand bullet fire from Ravagers and PMCs. Do always stay prone while looting, no matter what, even if you think everyone's dead or gone. Also, attempt to put your head into the dead body's hitbox in order to protect it while looting, so nobody can headshot you while you're laying down. Do not walk entirely through corridors and doors thinking the coast is clear just because it's been quiet for a minute. Always take your time and peek check doors, trying to listen for aggroed Ravagers or camping PMCs. Do treat common camping areas with respect, even if you've heard no action near them all game. Many people who sit there will be very patient and quiet, and it's always good to take your time and maintain your stealth, rather than blindly walking through these highly contested areas. If you're playing in a group, no matter how good you guys think you are with the in-game voice command hotkey system, do not go into labs without communication of some sort like Skype or Discord, etc. Only disaster awaits, trust. I know this one may seem a bit obvious, but do get out when you're full and you don't think you can continue looting risk-free. Dying while fully geared and looted is a great way to waste your time and benefit some other random asshole. And now with the 100k entry fee, you're throwing away a lot more cash with each unsuccessful run. If you're with a group in a wide open area and making sure between all of you that you're covering all or most of the angles, do not stay in your current spot if a huge blind spot opens up, like someone leaves from their position to go to a whole different area. Simply regroup or act as though no one's watching your back, because they probably aren't. And if this means you need to run and get somewhere safer, then you run and you get somewhere safer. Do make sure to take your friend's angle from him if he's getting all the kills, since you're not here just to get a run through, right? Do not risk your life for a single kill in this map. This map is intended to be played for the long game, at least if you're attempting to use it for grinding gear and money. And every time you die, you lose the 115k in the lab's keycard, all of the value of the items you brought in, and all of the value of the items you could have brought out. Rather, aim to put yourself in safe locations that are easy to hold, and oftentimes you can use small amounts of noise to lure the first Ravager to you. Then they will soon start funneling themselves to you after you kill the first one, and you can easily stack up their bodies outside choke points or doors at all times while remaining safe. Do always check button rooms and scan them for players potentially camping there, and always treat those spots as though someone's always in there. And EFT, try not to die to the embarrassingly blatant camping strats. Finally, do not rush the process. The easiest way to die in this map is to run out in the middle of labs right at the start, since many geared PMCs go there for loot, and low geared PMCs try and oftentimes press the button as fast as possible, so it'll spawn a bunch of Ravagers and trap you in the center. So just try and get into a good spot, take it slow, play safe, and keep your eyes sharp and your ears open. Hello, what's up everyone? I wanted to apologize for the month-long hiatus, I'm sorry. And I know I haven't streamed in a few days either, but with the recent 11.7 patch, I'm trying to put a lot more time into editing, and I don't have as much time left over to stream as much, so I might be doing that a little bit less often. But there will be way more videos coming out soon, so like and subscribe, and I'll be here all the time.